To the left side of the map, now our Protoss player starting for the Slayers team here. He's in the lead with 1-0 against his Zerg opponent. Did a good job on Cloud Kingdom. We have
Slayer's Puzzle.
Slayer's Puzzle with a push that centered around this Gateway and Immortal combination in addition to Storm. So he is in a very good position here, taking the first game in the best of 3 in the round of 48. He's up against a Zerg player from the Incredible Miracle. To the right in the blue, we have our Zerg. It's called
I Am True.
That's right, I Am True. I've been struggling a little bit on the last map. I liked his opening, that was really well done. He had a strong economy, he was on 4 bases, decided to not attack the third, but get the fourth, which is rather a bit unusual, but it put him into a great position in regards to tech and his economy. But in the end, he missed the hive tech, but therefore not capitalize on it. Starting here, Puzzle, that is, with a Forge first play, so not a gateway opening.
Yep, and we saw him plunge into a perilous position last game, I think for 2 main reasons. The Roach push wasn't the reason why. I mean, it wasn't like, well, he lost too much money. It's just that Puzzle didn't lose anything. He still had a strong 3-base economy, and if you let a Protoss be on 3 bases, man, he will build that +3 huge army. And if he has good scouting information like Puzzle had, he will build the army designed to kill you, and then he will kill you.
Yeah, True just had a few decisions that did not make all that much sense. We talked about the one Roach attack where he tried to flank, but he did not have the numbers to crush the force of Puzzle. He could have just sniped the Forge, delayed the upgrades of his opponent a little bit, then the tech, another issue. But well, in the end, this was just game number 1. True has to be a bit nervous here, and Puzzle, he's obviously a lot more experienced than True is. And we'll just see what happens on this map. A very interesting position for the natural for True, starting with an expansion at the right side of the map as his natural was blocked. And we already have the Nexus building for Puzzle, so let's see how this is going to work out. It's not going to be easy to defend the third base for the Protoss player, for the Zerg player, but yeah.
For both, it's pretty tough. It's a map where you very rarely see Protoss take a third base unless they get ahead early on. And we have seen a lot of all-ins on this map from Zerg players.
Yes.
A lot of Roach pressure early on, a lot of three-base Roach aggression if you can get that third base up, and sometimes even Nidus tech, but I don't think we're going to see any of those things on this map. Puzzle has successfully seen the third base. He's now going to mineral walk his way back into checking the natural, and oh, no, he decides not to, interestingly enough. But he can assume, and he will likely see a second scout out.
MC was actually one of the first players who was able to really play very defensive on this map up to this point, where he kind of figured out how to use your cannons, how to use the buildings, how to position them, and how many sentries you need. Most of the Protoss players really struggled on this map against Zerg, but now the builds are kind of known, so you know what you have to do in order to be safe against Zergling and Roach attacks. So a lot of Zerg players nowadays just trying to go for 3 bases and for late game, whereas Protoss is once again in the position that they have to do something about the Zerg about the third of their opponent. So let's see what the transition for Puzzle is going to be. He's starting with a +1 attack upgrade once more.
Yeah, and he's actually taken a second gas in his main base that he's not mining from. He mined 56 gas from it and stopped. Now this indicates that he's going to do a big gateway push. He's making that pile on his main base. I guarantee you in just a few seconds you're going to see a ton of gateways warping around that.
Yeah, very likely.
Gateway flower, man.
Very, very likely.
It's springtime in Korea.
It is springtime in Korea, and it's actually so nice.
It is a little bit nice. I don't like the warm weather though. I like the cold weather, but it's sunny. Everyone is happy.
Yes, except for the Koreans who try to dodge the sun in order to be pale. They don't want to get a tan.
I like the change of clothing. It's very nice. And look at this,
yeah,
he's cut pro production.
I didn't think that those skirts could get any shorter, but they actually do.
They have transformed. Look at this, man. 800 minerals, and here comes the flower. It is blooming.
2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6.
Goes up to 7 gateways in total. May even add an 8th one, but 7 is pretty standard as well. He does have the probe hidden to make a pylon, and he is not going to waste any time. Roach Warren is on the way, but this is as fast as it comes with a +1 attack. He even has the Zealots out as well to attack potentially the third base.
The Overlord is in position and sees everything.
True is freaking out right now. His heart rate is going through the roof. He's making Zerglings now, but you know, he's got to be careful. He can't use all that larva on Lings. He needs some roaches as well.
Yeah, there's this alarm going off in his head. It's like, uh-oh. And yeah, he knows. Puzzle is all in with this. You can't really transition out of this build if you don't do a ton of damage at least.
Well, the cards, I think, may be in his favor, man. This is a really, really strong attack. 12 roaches in production, but they are not going to have +1, and Zerglings are not going to have speed.
Zerglings without speed, no Spine Crawler, and it is going to start, guys. He needs to attack the Stalkers with his Lings. He doesn't have Link, obviously, but here come the roaches. There are not enough of them. And Puzzle is just tearing through this first set of Lings.
Great micro on his Stalkers, targeting down the roaches, letting the Zealots tank the damage from the Zerglings. A ton of Zerglings on the way, but they're not here yet.
And they won't do anything. The Zealots are upgraded with +1 attack. It won't happen. The Lings won't be the answer. If he warps in more Zealots, then he should be able to take him down.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't blame Puzzle for doing this build on dual site, man. It's a tough map for Protoss. You're up a game. Why not do this build? Nice control by True, getting the Zerglings where they need to be, but with the +1 there, and the Zealots taking so many hits, it's not necessarily going to be enough, but you know what?
There's a lot of units for True. He might actually be able to take down these pylons, and that would put an end to the aggression of Puzzle.
Yeah, he's actually building up enough. Puzzle just does not have the army he needs anymore. In fact, I think he's actually...
Puzzle doesn't have the resources to support all his gateways.
Yeah, he does not. This game looked like Puzzle might take it. He's still trying here, but he's going to lose all of his forces here, and he's continuing to warp, and he is saying, you know what, I am so all in with this.
Yeah, he knows he can't transition out of it, especially because True didn't lose any economy at this point.
I feel like, man, Puzzle he's actually warping into Zealot right now. He's like tying an anchor to his foot and jumping off a ship, man.
This is not going to happen. The pilots are dying here, and he just does not have enough. And
this attack...
tech starts. Look at True. He's going for the Lad Tech. He's going for Evolution Chamber because he already knows he fended this off.
What are you going to do, Puzzle, now? Make 2 probes? I don't think so. I think you need to type 2 letters into the chat at this moment in time. And those 2 letters are G and G.
It's just, you can't really transition out of this.
Look at this micro by True, catch the Stalkers.
Especially if you lost this many units, it's so hard to transition out of it.
It's time to start making cannons, Puzzle.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is going to hurt. True is in a position where he can do whatever he wants.
He can indeed, and that's what he's going to do.
No sentries at all. There are no force fields, and with Proof Ghost, he can just take this down. Running in with the Lings, taking down the Harvesters. We have the Roaches doing some damage as well. The cannon finally dies, so do the Stalkers. Everything is just falling apart for Puzzle, who's down to 39 supply against 100. 3 bases against 2. And yep, the probes die as well. 21 against 52 with a GG. Hence the game.
This is a very all-in build, man. You put all the chips on the table, okay? But when that table will start to tilt one way or the other, all right? And in this case, man, if you're not winning the fight, the Zerg player he gets more and more and more, and the table's slipping. You're like, the chips are falling on your head. You're like, there's too many chips that are falling on my head.
In your opinion, did he have? Was his economy good enough to support this? Did he need more probes here?
It's a timing attack, so of course he didn't have enough to support the gateways, but he builds up the money while the gateways are finishing, and then he doesn't have enough to support them. But it's a waterfall effect, it's a snowball effect where he's like, oh, I killed all your roaches. Every unit you're making is dying as it spawns, and he missed it because his opponent scouted it, and then. From there, I don't have the money to support this. I'm warping in units to die. He's like warping in a Stalker that's surrounded by Zealots.
The problem that I kind of have with it is that True didn't even play perfect. Usually what you see a lot of very good Zerg players do with such an attack, they try to run the Zerglings past the Zealots and to get the Stalkers from behind, because they know fully well as soon as the Lings actually engage with the Zealots, and suddenly they are just 2-hitted. So this is something that he did not really do. He did it at the end, but it was
too late, and I was like, oh, well, he's attacking the Stalkers now, and the Stalkers are microing back. His Zergling count was a little bit weak, but his Roach production was just a little bit too much.
Yeah, he had a very nice production, as you said. Scouting, obviously, once again, key. That is the task of every Zerg player. If you have a 2-base Protoss opponent, you have to get those Overlords into the base. You need to know what's going to happen. And the next map, the deciding map in this best of 3 is going to be Atlanta's spaceship.
Yeah, it is indeed a really cool map to end this one on. I'm not even 100% sure how I feel about this map yet. I need more time.
Me neither.
I've seen it a lot recently. It's becoming, I mean, it's used in the GSL. It's a map that's often in the pool, but I want to see more before I really judge it. I like the big map. It's the base of the 3 Vespene geysers, one of them being a rich one behind a line of sight blocker. That is creative. That's something that's never been seen before in StarCraft II map making. I like that.
I have to admit that so far, I'm not a fan.
Well, I understand your point, and I think we're just gonna have to wait and see as this develops, whether it's a good map or not. I wasn't sure if we were gonna get in the game. I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more as we get in. This is the final game between Puzzle and I Am True at the GSL Code A round of 48.